Hey everybody, if you remember a little while ago, Olight sent me this Warrior X Pro to do a review on. I'll link it at the end, but the review is there if you want to see it. This is a thrower style torch. This basically has two modes, really bright or ridiculously bright, and it's designed to light up huge areas. And for that, it's absolutely fantastic. See the review. The thing about this torch though is that it is so bright that in using it in a house or to search through cupboards or something, even on the lower setting, to be fair, it's a bit bright, especially if it's dark, and it can hurt your eyes. So, you know, it's good at what it's supposed to do, but in the context of using it around the house, it might be a bit much. Well, just before Christmas, Olight sent me this, which is the M2R Pro Warrior. And I've been using it, even though it looks like I'm about to unbox it, I have been using it, and it's absolutely fantastic, and in a way, it's, for me, most uses, it's better than this one. This one's been great, and if you want, as I say, if you want to light an entire garden, or an entire beach, this can do it. If you just want to look in cupboards, you want something that's not quite as bright. Just to give you a comparison of what I'm talking about here, the throw, as in how far the torch goes, is claimed 500 metres. I proved that to be at least 300, nearly 400, something like that in my video, and a maximum output of 2,100 lumens. This one is only a 300 metre throw that I'm guessing probably equates to more like 200. I haven't tried to use this at long ranges because, well, if you want something to do long ranges, that's the one you want. This one's more useful around the house. Well, anyway, let's just get in here. So it comes in a box like this. Take the card out. The torch comes in a nice little carry case, and you have your little accessories packet. There's your accessories, which is basically the charging cable, magnetic charging cable, and this works between all Olight devices I found, because I actually do have one of these as well, the OLIGHT Bulb, which I'm going to give you a mini review on at the end of this video. So the way that these chargers work, if you haven't seen, is that you plug that into a USB, and then to charge it, you just do that. That's it. It's magnetically held on. Nothing has to go in anything. It just clicks together. Very helpful, very quick. That you can, if it's on the desk like that, you can just literally go like that, and then just drop it and walk off and carry on with your day. And then obviously there is a lanyard, which is handy, and your instructions. Okay, well, let's have a look at the torch itself. It comes in this little bag. The clip on here is not very strong, I've noticed. I mean, it does click in, but there isn't a positive click. I think it's held, but it doesn't take a lot to get it to come undone. The torch itself, as you can see, is quite small, compact. This is an aluminium body, very strong, all metal construction, just like this one. And as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller. It's about the same until about here, where this has got a much bigger heat sink because it's so much more powerful and it gets very hot. This still gets hot, but not quite as high. This one has got, basically, as I mentioned, two functions, which is half and full, and that's basically it. This is a momentary or non-momentary button, but I'll show you that on this because it's the same principle. So like the other torch, it's got a button on the back here, which if you quickly press, that's the half power, and that just stays on continuously. Press it again, it goes off. Equally, you can do a full press. Let's be quite quick with this. There you go. And it stays on its turbo mode. I'll explain everything. Whoa, that's really messing with the camera, isn't it? Didn't like that. You can also just press and hold if you're looking around, let go, and it will go off. So you've got the options of a stay on or press hold, and it will go off. However, unlike the Warrior X Pro, this has got a button here, and this is the one that gives you a memorized level of light, which is much more usable. So let me just explain the levels. The turbo mode, which is the full power like that, is 1800 lumens. The high mode, which is that one, is 750 lumens. And then we've got medium 1, medium 2, low, and moonlight. And that's what's done by this button. So if I turn it on, see it comes on, goes off with this button, one press. If we press and hold it, it locks it out. You can see that's not doing anything now. It's coming up with a little red LED there. Press and hold it again, comes back on. And now it functions again. And that is on the moonlight setting. Can you see this? Now if we press and hold it, that's stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Stage 4 is perfectly usable all around the house, stuff like that, around the garden. This is all you're going to need. And obviously there is a big benefit in only using something in that light level, then you get more battery time. I'm going to show you the specifications because this is the easiest way to show you how these torches work. So at its turbo mode, its brightest setting, 1800 lumens, that lasts for 4.5 minutes, and then you can see it goes down for 145 minutes at 42%, and then you'll get 45 minutes at 14%. So you understand how that works. So if you put it in the high setting, you're going to get 750 lumens for 160 minutes, and then you get 40 minutes of 54. Does that say? I'm trying to read in a screen. 34, 54? 34. So then we got medium 1, which is the brightest, medium 2, low, and moon. And moon's the one that barely shows up on the background here, but in the dark it is actually quite visible. It's a good reading light, as it were. So you can see here, this one doesn't ramp down like this one. This one stays at its full power, whatever you choose, and you're going to get 10 hours, 40 hours, 130 hours, or 50 days. And so you could read in a tent using that. Just moving down here, you can see more of the specs to do with the suggested throws. As I say, I managed to get the one that says 500 meters. I managed to definitely do about 300 odd meters. Check the video out for all the information you can see in that video. But do remember that the camera is not a human eye. It's also IPX8, and it's been drop tested to 1.5 meters. So there you go. There's the sort of specs on it. Also, remember me mentioned this here. This actually is a battery level indicator, and as you can see here, it tells you where the battery is while you're using it. So if you turn it on, that's the moonlight, and you keep it pressed down, it will round robin through the different settings, and whatever one you choose, when you just single press it, that's the one you're going to get when you press it each time. Which is a great idea and a big improvement from this, but then this wasn't designed to do what this is designed to do, which also makes sense why this is that much smaller. As you can see, the end of it here, it's still got its metal knurled end, and there may be some intentions as to what you might do with that. Being a tactical light, they tend to have multiple purposes. As you can see, there is no adjustment on it. This clip will just come off if you give it a good enough ping, which is difficult to say the least. But yeah, that will come off, so you can remove that if you want to. Clips back on. Unscrew the back. And that reveals one of these batteries which OLIGHT uses, which is a 21700. These do seem to be very similar to an 18650, but obviously you can tell from the numbers they're not. To give you a comparison, there is an 18650, so as you can see they're just a little bit bigger and a little bit fatter. And just double check that I'm 99% sure that all of the range uses, yeah, there you go, uses the same batteries, which is absolutely fantastic. That's probably also why they can all use the same chargers, which is something I need to get onto, charging time. I haven't actually tested the charge time because I just put it on overnight. I mean, it lasts so long that you're not going to generally use it in a single day, so you just top it up every now and then, or put it on overnight and it's going to be fully charged. But the time that they suggest is 5 hours, which is exactly the same, I think, for this one, which makes sense because they are the same charger, same battery, same charging system, presumably. That's on a 5-volt 2-amp charger. Obviously, if you have a lower amp charger, it's going to take longer than that. But generally most things do 2 amps now, don't they? I think most phone chargers do 2 amps. As I say, this is very handy for, you know, long hours of use in a tent or something like that, and it has more than enough throw in the power modes to light up huge areas, you know, a long way. If you're out camping or something, this is going to cover all those needs, and that's something that's very cool about this with that second button. As I say, if your main interest is just how powerful that thing is, then this is probably, or even one of the ones above this would be more your sort of thing. See this one more as your everyday multi-use EDC type torch, and this is more of your specialist torch for certain uses. Now, this wouldn't be a decent review if I didn't show you some footage of it in use and show you the different power settings at night, which I will do in just a moment. But obviously with the COVID restrictions, I can't do what I did with the previous torch and, you know, shine it down a huge beach. But as I say, that's not what this one's for. So let's have a look at that footage now. Okay, so this is in its low setting, that moonlight setting. As you can see, it's very, very little. And I'm now going to round robin through all of the different power modes on the small button on the front. You see, now it's returned to the setting that I picked. And that is more than enough to see what's going on around you. Now we'll try the tail button. And you can see, that's its lower setting. And well, there is its higher setting, and again, it's more than enough for most uses. So hopefully you can see there that in the dark, even to the camera, which is less sensitive than the human eye, the lower power settings are generally more than enough for most uses. But if you want more power, you've got that as a backup on the back. There is one other function which I'm not going to demonstrate for too long for obvious reasons, is that it has a strobe function. So if you're not good with flashes, I would look away now. You have been warned. Basically, you click it 3 times. Yeah. That is a tactical flash, as it were. Idea being that if someone's intruding into your house and you shine that in their face and just keep that flashing going on, I think it has more of an effect than just shining a torch in someone's face in disorientating them and giving you the opportunity to do whatever it is that you want to do. In the UK, that's probably get out your pointed stick and harsh words. So all in all, this is a better all-rounder than this torch, but it just hasn't got the oomph that this one does. So for you, pick the one that's, you know, fits you best. Construction, as I mentioned, is aluminium. It's very strong. They're designed to be beaten up. I've seen videos of the smaller Olights being fired out of shotguns and still working. They are tough torches, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. I'm very grateful to Olight for sending these to me to do the reviews on. They also sent me another product, which I'm going to talk about now, and I'll be honest, I'm a bit on the fence with this one. And the product I'm talking about is the OLIGHT Bulb. Now, this is basically a waterproof, rechargeable push light. And when I first saw it, I thought, okay, that's a nice idea. I'll just get it out of the box here. So, now I've been using this a lot, as you'll see. So there's the device itself, little box in the bottom. And once again, here's your accessories. Again, one of those magnetic chargers, and this does the exact same thing. Just click it on there and that will charge. There is an indicator here which shows red or green depending if it's charged or charging. This little thing, I'm sure you may have guessed by now, is a little coin which is self-adhesive on one side and metal, because this is also magnetic, which means that you can just stick it on things. And you can just chuck it on. It's a good strong magnet. It will come off if you hit it hard enough. And then you have your instructions. So, as I say, this is just a push light. So the button is this whole base here, and you can activate it by just pressing it on a surface, like so. But I'm going to do it this way so you understand what's going on here. So, single press comes on, single press goes off. It's a push light. Single press on, hold it, it will go through all the different things that this thing can do. So we have our low light, our highlight, red. This is a much redder red in person. On the camera it's looking a little bit weird because of the amount of extra lighting I have. This hasn't got a chance really. Look, you can see how much redder it is in there. And also it flashes red. Idea being, I think that you can use this at a festive time. No, I'm not aware of them selling blue ones before you ask. Okay, so runtime. On the low setting, I know it's hard to see how bright this is here, but in a dark room, this is enough to see what's going on around you. You know, it won't really keep you awake or anything like that, but you've got a bit of light to be able to see the shape of the room. You might even be able to read by it if you were close enough. I think you definitely, actually, if you held it in your hand, you'd be able to read by it. That lasts for a reported 56 hours. Even if it's half that, that's still a very long time. The higher setting is 55 lumens. I should have mentioned the first one's 3.5 lumens. This next one up is 55 lumens, and this lasts for 3 hours. And that is bright enough to, you know, our bathroom bulb when we didn't have any bulbs, so we were just using this to light the bathroom when we're having a bath. And because it's waterproof, you can just stick it on the side of the bath and slightly light the water, and then that lights the entire room. The red light is 7 lumens and lasts for 7 hours, and the flashing is the same 7 lumens, but it lasts for 30 hours. It also only takes about 2 hours to fully charge this thing, so it's really very handy to just use, chuck on the charger, grab later on. Say if light bulbs go or something like that, you can grab one of these and use them to light hallways. And you know you could leave it on all night and it would be fine on the lower setting. Being magnetic, you could use it as a work light. You can chuck it in your pool. You know, you could get a handful of these and just chuck them in your pool and they can float around if you have a pool. There's lots of uses for them, but they are £30 each. Now, Olight isn't a particularly cheap company because they make very high quality stuff, but these at £30 each, I think is a little bit steep, if I'm honest. However, I looked around and sure, you can buy a standard push light for about, you know, a pack of them for a few quid. And they'll give just about as much light as these do, but the thing about them is they're not waterproof, they're not rechargeable, they normally take AA's and things like that. When I actually looked for an equivalent of this product, I really couldn't find one that can do everything that this thing can do, which is why I went from thinking, well, it's just an overpriced ball light, to actually know that has got more functionality than a normal ball light, and became very helpful. And I have to say, I'm very glad that they sent me a second one. I haven't opened this one yet because I was going to do it for the video, but then I was able to do an unboxing of this one. But I am going to quickly open this one because I just want to see whether this also is red. You can see in the original packaging they actually come in a little packet. That's the only difference. So same thing. I'll press and hold it for 2 seconds so it comes to life. And look, this one does red as well. So even though these are different colours, the actual coloured light that comes out is still red. So as I say, these are expensive, but I really like them. The fact that I've got two of them, I've now got the other one out of the box, I'm really happy because I'm going to be using these in the evening in my room rather than the main light, because it's going to be much, much nicer. There is a couple of things I also want to say, which is I noticed on the website for this product, it says something about motion sensitive battery indicator. I think that's not supposed to be in that listing. You'll also notice there's some translation issues in there, because at one point they're referring to these as having a flaming light, I think it says, but obviously it's not flaming how you would expect. It's flashing. Another thing you can do is you can kind of lock these out by pressing and holding it, and it will flash like that. And now it only works momentarily if you press it like that. See, it goes off, but if you press it for long enough, it comes back on and it stays on. So it's like a lock. And no, you can't stick them together because obviously the magnets repel. I also noticed with the red one you get a red plate, and with the green one you get a green plate. So yeah, I think they're a fantastic, handy little product, but they are not cheap. And I'll honestly say that I don't know if I would personally pay £30 for one of these when I'm not needing it for its waterproofness necessarily, and a standard push light would kind of do what these can do, but without the convenience. So I think they are, value-wise, they are worth their money. The quality, you know, what you get is definitely worth that money. But whether you want to spend that much on what is, in essence, a push light, is up to you. If you found this video interesting or useful, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new here. To be fair, I'm actually a motorcycle channel. I don't normally do stuff like this, but I do product reviews, and these are sorts of things that I use very often. And I will say, because I mentioned this in my first review, that my old torch, my trusty LED torch that I used day in, day out for years, has not been touched since I got this one. And since I got this one, I've been using this way more than this one. What more can I tell you? Again, for complete transparency, because it is important for this channel, I was sent these by OLIGHT to review, but I have not said anything I do not believe in, and they actually haven't asked me to say anything. The only thing they did ask me to do was mention the Christmas sale, which obviously is way past now, because when they sent me this torch, I wasn't aware it was coming, and I did not have the time to get it done before Christmas. So apologies to OLIGHT that I couldn't do at the time of your sale, but here is a proper review from someone who's actually used the torch, and I hope you can trust my opinion from what you've seen. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.